And then we had a podcast.
We're good? We're rolling?
Yeah, I think we're live.
We're live?
Oh, John's nodding his head.
We're live.
We are wide open, baby, connected by water. It almost didn't happen. We almost didn't have Wi-Fi. We are here today with boom, 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 Henri Crockett.
Yes.
How's it going?
Outstanding.
All right, we're with Troy, our good buddy Troy. Everyone knows and loves Troy.
Papa's Raw Bar in the house.
Papa's Raw Bar. We are live. This is our first ever live podcast.
And we have Wi-Fi, in case anyone's wondering.
Yeah, we had Wi-Fi. In case anyone was waiting with bated breath by their computers at 5 o'clock and we didn't start, we didn't have Wi-Fi. So here we are. We're up and running. Henry, thanks for coming, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you.
Excited. Always happy. Especially come to Papa's Raw Bar.
Yep, absolutely.
Don't need much of an excuse.
No, yeah, you don't need an excuse to come here at all. We got our friends, we got our family here. If anyone wants to come up and watch a live podcast, obviously you're more than welcome. Great food, great drinks, great fun, great people, great everything here.
Great food.
Yeah, it's our favorite place. It's like our favorite place to come.
No, we need to get your name on the menu. Henry's got his name on the menu.
See,
I don't have my name on the menu.
See, everybody I know has like their own role or their own. You have an OCD role. You got a surreal role. We do. Right?
We need to do a roll. The new menus just got delivered yesterday. But
Valerie Rory has something.
We do. She strong tied me. So.
We need to connect it by water. Something.
I like it.
Come on.
I like it.
Did we mention the food is good?
The food is good. It's the best.
Somebody's hungry. I'm starving.
The food is good. You're going to have representation at this shakedown you're having in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
Like someone from here is going to be there. It's not just going to be like other places.
I know. I strategically have both of my restaurants battling each other.
Really?
Because I didn't want to have them in different contests.
Yeah.
It's an Eat, Drink, and Be Local event, not a Raw Bar event. So It's Eat, Drink, and Be Local's first event, the Chef Shakedown. It's at the Lighthouse Point Yacht Club.
Right.
And Papa's Fish House, a.k.a. Seafood World, will be battling Papa's Raw Bar. So we'll be going against each other. The good news is either way, we win.
You're going to win.
We win, yes.
You're a winner. You're a winner, Troy. Yeah. We all know that.
So how does it work? Does the patrons get opportunity to taste the food?
Yeah, so we're maxing out at 300 people. We got about 225 tickets sold, and you can only buy them on Eventbrite. There's going to be 14 restaurants, a chef from each restaurant. There's Battle Asia, Battle Barbecue, is Fat Boys and Spanks the Hog. We really started local before we get outside the community. We want to dial into the community. You got Battle Surf and Turf. You have Battle Italy, Battle Burger, Battle, I'm a little blank here. But lots of fun
It's at
battles.
the Yacht Club.
Yeah, at the Yacht Club.
Lighthouse
Each
Point
guest will get 7 chips, tokens labeled with the battles. Battle taco. You'll go in, you'll taste both tacos, and you'll give your taco chip to the chef that you think.
Oh, okay.
And then there'll be celebrity judges there voting on 5 local bartenders from local bars. Kapow's in there. New Even Keel's in there. Lighthouse Point Yacht Club's in there. We got a local celeb popping in, and Tats and Tacos. And then they're also going to vote on the best overall food.
Mm-hmm. And I'm painting.
And Dennis will be painting live on stage.
And it's going to auction.
Yep.
And
what are you painting?
I'm going to paint some yellowfin tuna, I think. Some
nice.
Nice. I figured something fitting for the event. Right?
And it's all to raise awareness for mission fishing.
Right.
Yep.
All raising awareness. So I want to talk a little bit about that again later. But right now I want to mention
there he is.
One of the, hey, what's up? Does he want to put the headphones on? This is a free-for-all. Put the headphones on. Let's talk to us. There you go. Is there a stool? There you go. Say hey.
Hey,
What's your name, buddy?
Josiah.
I'm Dennis. It's nice to meet you. How are you?
Good.
You play ball?
Yes.
You excited for your Seminoles tonight?
Yes.
Yeah? Are we going to win? Are we going to beat Virginia?
Yeah.
It's official, right? Talk into the mic. There you go.
What position do you play?
Talk into the mic. What position do you play?
And what?
In football.
Quarterback.
You're the quarterback?
Oh, that's what I play. Now
that's
tell
a
me
big
what position do you play in life?
I play running back and wide receiver.
Nice. So you
And
guys,
sometimes quarterback.
so you guys are responsible for all the points.
Yeah.
Yeah?
His other teammate.
What's up, buddy?
Tell him what position you play.
What position do you play?
For what?
Football.
I like how they got these. They do a lot of
Wide
things.
receiver, right? Tell him.
Wide receiver.
You guys are all offense right here.
Who's the fastest out of all three of you? Oh,
Yeah,
give me
It's
that
me.
mic.
it's you.
All
All
right.
right. Look how comfortable they are on mic. I love it. You guys are ready to be pros. Look at you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, guys. Good. Get back to work.
Daddy, are you
It's
on
all
the
good.
radio?
Wait, we are. We're live.
We're on the radio. We're on TV. We're on everything
National
right now.
TV.
National
Before,
TV.
We're on
before you
ESPN.
before you log off, what's your favorite thing to eat here at Papa's Raw Bar?
You like eating here at Robot?
Sushi.
I love
Oh,
it. Who's
nice.
your favorite football player of all time? Think hard.
Mine's Bo Jackson.
Who you like?
I have a lot.
You know who you like too. Who you like? Who you like football?
Henry Crockett.
Henry Crockett's a good one, yeah. Zach's okay.
Daddy.
There you go.
Yeah,
Daddy.
there you go.
Who's your favorite football player?
Odell Beckham.
Yo,
Oh, you kind of look like
yeah.
him.
Landry.
There you go. Jarvis
Nice.
Landry? Nice. I love Jarvis Landry.
Who you like?
I like Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield? I like Baker Mayfield too. He brings the thunder, right?
All right, guys.
Yeah.
He had a not so good game last week. Did you see
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I got him.
It happens.
I got him
It
in fantasy
happens.
football.
You had him.
Yeah,
No,
I
you
was.
kept
I
him.
was. I was all hot and bothered on Baker Mayfield this year. I got him in 2 leagues. I'm like, yeah, give it
They
now.
say to
I'm
stay
like,
away from rookie quarterbacks here too, but
Yeah, I know. I heard that too. But yeah,
Thank you,
whatever.
guys.
Bye.
all right, guys. We'll
Bye.
see you
Thanks
later.
for coming on the
Thank
show,
you.
guys.
Okay.
And he's 8 years old, right?
They were pretty natural there on the mic. That was good.
Good job.
So we got some Florida State football today.
Yeah.
Go Noles.
Don't know.
All right, it's been a little bit of a slow start for us, but we are optimistic for Virginia tonight, I think.
I gotta believe
Gotta believe,
this is
right?
our game. We haven't had that much crowds at the home. We got booed in our own stadium, so hopefully
That hurts.
we go on the road. We have a better showing.
Yeah, you want to avoid the booing in your own stadium.
Hopefully we
across,
play
but
four. If we can play 4 quarters, I think we'll win.
I think that's probably the ultimate point right there,
Maybe
right?
we should reverse it.
Start slow and then hot.
Start-
That's what I tell her all the time.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks in a row.
No.
Yeah, so we were talking a little bit about that before the podcast started. That with the Boise State game, obviously there was a huge, comeback that Boise State made. And,
Yep.
and Florida State really did nothing to adjust to what they were doing, and I think they actually, might not have made the right, decisions going into it. Maybe didn't adjust at all, but whatever. It's not like I'm sitting here with a ex-Florida State football player or anything that can really offer some keen insight to that.
No, I mean, just from watching the far, I just felt like we came out with a great game plan. He stripped it some really good plays.
Yeah.
He got the ball in all the playmakers' hands. Defense played good. And I think the second half they came out and got a little bit full of themselves and really just try to do make the home run hit instead of just like taking their time, using up some of the clock. And what they ended up doing was putting their defense on the field for 108 plays, and you just can't do that.
Right.
And from that point, those guys like they was running in quicksand out there.
Yeah, they looked real slow in
It
the
was
second
really
half.
slow. The offense was just 3 downs and out every series.
Mm-hmm.
The defense was on the field the whole game. And then the offense never made adjustments. I mean, Boise State's a pretty good team.
They're a good team.
They got
It's a good
they
program.
got a well-coached team. Got a great coach,
Mm-hmm.
a defensive-minded coach, and he figured him out.
Yeah,
So when
him
he
out.
figured him out, then you got to make adjustments.
Yeah, we didn't
And
adjust.
We didn't adjust, so that was a little bit disappointing. But then what was even more disappointing was to come out the next week and experience
Do the same thing.
I didn't even watch that game. I was out of town, and I didn't even get to see the game. And when I saw the score at the end of the night, I didn't even know the story of how it got to that point. I just saw the final score, and I'm like, I don't even want to know the story.
It was bad. It was
Yeah.
like, and then I saw they was so excited. They was cheering, and I was like, damn, that's
Yeah,
Louisiana Monroe.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you
You
don't
don't
thought-
you don't want
is
any
that?
other words coming after a state when you're losing. Like,
and then all the antics. Like the one kid, the first game, when Boise State he caught a touchdown, he put a mask on. Like,
yeah, it was
the
kind of.
antics.
Yeah, what's your take on all that?
God damn, just play, man.
I could do without the
I can do
tchotchkes
it.
and
Listen,
then the
if they came up
the
with something,
accessories.
if they came up with something that was really cool,
Like a turnover backpack.
jeez, that was terrible. But if they came up with something
you had to bring it up.
I'm a Knowles fan. I had to bring it up.
if they
I
came up-
had to.
They had something that was cool that involved everybody getting in on it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a problem. Like the turnover chain, I don't have a problem with the turnover chain.
Right.
I got a problem with a turnover brass knuckle. With the scoring brass knuckles they got now.
Yeah.
You saw
I
that?
didn't see that.
That's horrible.
You know what I think? I don't think anybody.
It's terrible.
I don't
It's
think
absolutely
anybody should have done anything else. I think the turnover chain is
that's
what it is,
It is
and
what it is.
people don't have to follow.
Well, somebody had the
thing
turnover
now.
chain before you, right?
No,
No, I
Alabama
don't-
had the heavyweight champion belt.
Oh, they did.
They had the belt after a turnover. They put the heavyweight champ belt on them.
Oh, so they started this whole thing.
They started it.
I was rooting for maybe we could have had like a turnover lap dance or something. If we had a one-up Miami, it's like,
For Rosario.
for Rosario.
Oh,
Yeah. But that's what I was going to. The backpack really threw me off. I couldn't even explain it.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that they come out and do a better showing today.
Yeah, that's the
I saw
thing.
they brought on the guy from that coach that used to be the head coach of USF that Taggart took to Oregon.
Right.
They brought him on as a defensive consultant this week.
They did.
see that.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that at all.
Yeah, they brought him on as a defensive consultant this week. I'm interested to see how that plays
Yeah.
out because to me, when you do that, like that means the writing's on the wall for Harlan Barnett. You know,
Yeah.
that's my thought process.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I wanted to ask you too. I was curious. I was just looking over some stuff this morning. When you're at Florida State, how tight were you with Bowden, or was he more like just kind of like an overseer, CEO? That are you more tighter with Mickey Andrews
I was
than?
tied with Mickey Andrews and
Yeah.
Chuck Amato.
Yeah.
Bowden was more overseer. Like
Yeah.
if you got to Bowden, it was bad.
It was probably bad. Yeah.
it was bad. So
He was a
you
pretty
got-
tough guy
it's levels
behind
to it.
closed doors, I think,
Yeah,
right?
he's very
Yeah.
fair guy.
Yeah.
He loves teammates, loves family.
Mm-hmm.
But it's levels to it.
Right.
You got to go through certain things to get to him. So if you get to him, you pretty much done exhausted.
Yeah, all the resources. Yeah.
So Bowden was a great guy, man. He was a family-oriented guy. Like we always made time for us to have fence at his house.
Mm-hmm.
But then we had Coach Rick, we had Chuck Amato.
Yeah, Coach
you know,
Rick was there around
we
that
had
time
Mickey
too.
Andrews, even the guy that's at Coach Scott,
Mm-hmm.
that's at Clemson right now, and is responsible for getting a lot of them players from Florida to Clemson now.
Right.
He was the offensive coordinator for Coach Rick.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, all the Clemson and Alabama is taking all the South Florida guys now.
Yeah, 100%.
That's why they're so successful.
A lot of people don't understand the start of that run was our head recruit, Ronnie Cottrell.
Mm-hmm.
He left Florida State and went to Alabama. And he was part of that group starting to really, because Alabama went into pits.
Right.
So they brought Ronnie Cottrell there, and he was the one that kind of like got the ball rolling and started bringing in big recruits again. And, you know, he was a hell of a recruit.
Yeah.
Good coach, but he was a hell of a recruit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's half the battle, though. I mean, I think it's getting the players on board, right?
Yeah,
So,
and, and I think Coach Bowden did a great job at letting people do what they was good at. Like Ronnie Cottrell was the best salesman I've ever seen in my life. Like,
Yeah.
this guy could
is
sell.
that who recruited you?
Yeah. Well, he was over all recruiting. That's all he did.
Yeah.
So now they make the coaches do recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, we had a department, a recruiting department, and Ronnie Cottrell, Coach Cottrell was over that recruiting department. They don't have that anymore. Like coaches have to go out and recruit and be responsible for it. So it's
Right.
a little different.
So, all right. So most of the coaches are out recruiting.
Well,
Like I know Lawrence Stassi does a lot of recruiting.
yeah,
now,
most
right?
of the coaches out recruiting now.
Yeah.
But when I was playing, Ronnie Cottrell did all the recruiting,
Mm-hmm.
and he just when he brought in the big guns to come in and seal the deal.
Yeah.
Like when Coach Bowden came to my house, he had the whole defensive coaching staff and him.
Right.
But I had been meeting with Ronnie Cottrell, talking to him the whole way up, you know, throughout the whole process on the recruits.
Bowden didn't come to your house?
Yeah, he came out.
Oh, he did?
Oh man, I gotta tell you a story about Bowden coming out.
Please do.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Please do.
So I grew up in a real bad neighborhood in Pompano Beach.
I know. I was just going to ask you, weren't stealing potato chips from over the
Yeah,
fence, right?
I know. Yeah. So
Potato chips?
Yeah. So I know most coaches when they come see they get the little rental car and they
Okay.
come in, they see you. You know, I had Spurrier, I had McCartney from Colorado back then when won that championship. They come in with just a regular rental car. Bowden showed up. Cadillacs, like 3 Cadillacs, 2 police cars being escorted in like the president. Like it was like a show. And he walks in the house, goes to the fridge, pours himself something to drink, come sit down. Like, let me tell you something.
Like he's home.
Like he's home. sit down with my mom, and he knew my mom was a Christian. Loved talk about Bible, pull out the Bible.
You laid it on thick?
Oh, listen, barely talk to me. Barely talk to me, right? Him and my mom going over verses together. They going over the Bible. It's the Bible study.
Yeah.
I said, is this guy coming to see me? Or is he coming for Bible study?
Man, that's good.
At the end of the day, gave me a hug. I see you in Tallahassee.
Right.
And you don't even know what happened.
So your mom basically chose that you were going to Florida State?
My mom chose where I was going.
There you go.
God and family first. That's my saying.
Bible was amazing, man. I'm telling you that. He had it down packed, man.
Yeah. That was right in his wheelhouse though, right when you were there, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys won 5 years in a row ACC champs,
Yeah,
something like that?
Yeah, we won. I won the very first ACC championship.
Yeah.
We won every year.
Every year, yeah.
Every year.
And that was a solid team. I mean,
We had an amazing team.
I mean, you had Charlie as a quarterback, which obviously everyone knows. Yeah, Charlie Ward.
It's funny. Charlie was great, but you know, a lot of times we didn't realize how good Charlie was. We used to beat up on him in practice. Like,
Right.
We used to kill him. Like, the offense could not move the ball, so a lot of times we didn't really understand how good our offense was. So they could never move the ball on us in practice.
Why do you think that was?
Our defense was so dominant.
Or your defense? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it was very close.
How was your relationship with Derek Brooks? I mean,
Amazing.
did he take you under his wing? And because you were just coming in right in
I was just
'93,
coming
right?
in. Marvin Jones was there.
Because we
So-
graduated the same year of
Yeah,
high school, '92,
92.
right? Yeah.
So when I got there, Marvin Jones was there. Then we had Derek Brooks, Ken Adams, and all those guys. So
Right.
it wasn't a situation where you felt like, okay, I'm coming, I'm going to play.
Yeah.
We got Marvin Jones, Derek Brooks.
Yeah.
You're not playing.
Right.
So there's no need to waste that red shirt. Yeah, just go red shirt.
Derek Brooks used to crack some people at the goal line, man.
Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones, too.
Marvin Jones, the best college linebacker I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never seen a guy.
he
that
was a
always,
badass.
He was always in perfect tackling position, like never
Right.
out of position. Like he would strike you and kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Brooks was the best tackler I've ever seen.
He was a tactician.
He was a
Yeah,
tactician.
he was a tactician.
And he was the fastest linebacker
Yeah.
ever been around. Like, you know, he was a 4.3 guy.
Right.
Brooks was a 4.3 guy.
And you had the
What'd
fastest.
you run?
Huh?
What'd you run?
4.5.
Yeah?
You were 4 or 5, and you had the
4-5.
fastest defensive back, I think, in college football history. Corey Sawyer, wasn't
Corey Sawyer was actually slow.
he? Was he slow?
Yeah.
Didn't he go?
Corey Fuller was the fastest.
Corey
cornerback.
Fuller is the one I was thinking
Yeah,
of.
Corey
All right,
Fuller was the
yeah,
fastest.
yeah, yeah.
Corey Fuller was 4.3.
Yeah.
210 pounds, big cornerback. But then we had, we call him little buddy.
Little buddy?
Number 2.
Oh, yeah, not Deion Sanders. but no,
He out of Texas.
Roll?
Not Roll. Roll, he was a backup.
I'm trying to think of all the number 2s.
What's short guy? God, number 2. God, what is his name?
You'd think I'd remember all the short guys.
Once you say,
Got me stumped.
it'll come to me.
All right, it'll come to you. Hey, John, can
He
you?
was an All-American.
Yeah,
He was an All-American.
Jonathan. He was an All-American?
Yeah, the top cornerback, one of the top cornerbacks in the country.
All right, so I'm totally failing the Florida State
got
football
drafted-
quiz
he got
right
drafted-
now.
he got
How to
drafted-
use
he got-
tech?
He got drafted by Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And he went to the Bucks.
Yeah.
Really? All right, we're going to get
Clifton
back
Abraham.
to that. Clifton Abraham, there you go. Yeah, here we are. All right, here you
Yeah,
go.
so Clifton Abraham was pretty fast.
Yeah.
You know who else was really fast?
We got all right. So
Henry,
the live
you're
podcast
limp
is
over
a little
here.
bit more of like an analog situation here.
Yeah, Devin Bush was really fast.
Yeah, Devin. Yeah, he was on that '93 team.
So we had a really good defense.
Of
Smart
course.
guys, a lot of
Right.
smart, a lot of academic guys.
Yeah,
And I think that's what Florida State missing. They got a lot of talent, but they're not very smart. I look at the linebacker position. They're always out of position.
you know, I'm looking at the team now, and I'm looking at like compared to like a team like that, right? And just to me, the differences are obvious from a physicality standpoint. But you bring up a good point from the football intelligence standpoint too,
Correct.
because I mean, obviously that's being in the right position and closing the space as fast as possible. No matter how fast you are, if your mind isn't there, you know what I mean, then your legs aren't going to be there.
Yeah.
And not only that, the offense now is so complex now. They do a lot of movement. So you have to recount.
Right.
And when you start seeing all these defense, when the offensive player move once and the defense run around, they got to adjust. That's not a defense that's pretty smart because you should be interchangeable.
Yeah.
I should know your job, you should know mine. So if they move over here, then I just play your position, you play mine. That's what
Right.
we do, you know. Everybody can play each other's positions. And so when you see a guy move on offense and that guy run with him, that means they're not confident that that guy knows the other position, which is
That makes sense.
Insane.
That's scary.
Yeah.
You look at check out Belichick defenses. It don't matter what you do, they don't move.
You know, it's kind of funny you bring that up because I'm a huge Dolphin. Are you Dolphin fans?
Yeah,
Right.
season ticket holder. I'll
Yeah.
be there tomorrow.
So, I mean, with the Brian Flores thing, I'm kind of like, should I be happy about this or should I not be happy about it? Because the guy that basically is in charge of those defenses.
Yeah, I think what he's doing, he's stripping everything
Stripping it down.
And he just, you know what, he's evaluating everything. He's saying, you know what, these guys think they're good, but they haven't bought into a system. You know, you look at New England, they have a system. And I just need you to be the best player you can be
Yeah.
at your position, what I'm asking you to do. I don't need you to do his job or that job. I need you to be the best version of you. And a lot of guys can't take that.
Right.
You know, a lot of guys can't buy into that because they need that shine. They need that next contract. So it's tough.
Well, you look at the Minka Fitzpatrick situation, was kind
Just
of like,
heard about that yesterday.
yeah, they
Asked for a
agreed
trade?
for him to seek a trade. And then now the rumors are floating that the Dolphins are asking for too much, which I don't think they should ask for anything less than a number one for that situation. The guy's only in his second year.
I mean, he's a number one pick, and he played good last
He
year.
played for Alabama. I mean,
But
the guy's
he's-
got pedigree.
But he's not good for that system.
He's not good for that system. That's why I questioned the pick in the first place because there wasn't really a need at the time. Like everything was a need, but it was kind of didn't match the system that they were playing in.
Yeah.
But
I thought Derwin James better than him.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
that
confused
would
with the whole system.
obviously I
How
wanted
the hell you
Derwin
pass-
James to come
pass
to the
with
team.
Derwin James. If you go take a safety,
Yeah,
take Derwin James.
correct.
Like,
And he's flourishing right now,
all pro,
big time.
rookie year, all pro.
Yeah, big time. That was the pick to me. If you weren't going to go quarterback, then that was the pick to me.
Correct.
Which I agree with not taking Josh Rosen in that situation, but I don't know.
But
Whatever.
What's the deal? What you think about Josh Rosen? I actually like Josh Rosen in college.
I mean, I think he's a little. He looks frail for the NFL to me, and I don't think his ball's as sharp as it should be. I mean, he's accurate,
Yeah.
but his ball just doesn't really have
I
the
think he's a
pepper.
good player, but I think football is very funny.
All right, let me ask you this, right? As an ex-NFL player, the analysts, the guys like me, the fans, whatever, they could talk about locker room matters as much as we want. What's your take on that?
Locker room does matter, but I think when you're in that locker room,
Because I heard that he's not good in the locker room.
he's not. He's one of those guys that he say everything you wish you could say. Like, I wish I could say the things that Josh
Right.
Rosen can get away with saying. Like, he don't care.
I mean, that's not good for your quarterback, though, right?
Well, it's not normal. A quarterback normally is more of a politician
Right.
because he has to get along with everybody. And with Josh Rosen is more just if he thinks it, if he really feels strongly, even though he might be right in what he's thinking, he just says it.
No filter.
No filter.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to make a team here.
Well,
You have to
well,
like toe the line a little bit sometimes.
It is. I think it goes back to what you said about it's the thing I practice here at work. It's the cross training, and you're only as strong as your systems. And I don't know what their story is or what their system is. So to buy into it, I'm a little confused. I'm not playing for the team, but I don't know.
I don't know. Listen, to me, all right. To me, here's the thing: we need an offensive line, and then you get a number 2 pick sitting there, a second-round pick. Not a number 2 pick, but a second-round pick sitting there. To me, the play was a guard, and they traded away a guard that could have potentially started on a line that needed starters for an experiment that probably isn't going to work. Because now you look at the way the team's dismantling itself.
Yeah.
We're setting ourselves up to draft a quarterback in the future. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's obvious,
And
right?
that was fine, but don't get rid of Larry Thompson.
Well, we got 2 number 1 picks for him.
But who are you gonna get for him? Like, you got a perennial
Well, we're
All-Pro.
gonna.
Like,
You got him.
they don't have a
a good point.
25-year-old All-Pro tackle just on the street.
But I think 2 number 1s is what that took, though, right?
But why?
For a quarterback,
But you
guarantee.
still need to get
Still
a
need to-
tackle.
still
But
need
you
to get a
already
tackle.
got one that's All-Pro. Like,
Still need to get a tackle.
so
You're
you're
right.
gonna give up an All-Pro 25-year-old tackle
Correct.
to go in the draft to draft a 23 or 24-year-old in hopes that he become an All-Pro tackle. You have him already,
Yeah.
and you got him cheap.
And you're probably going to get the number 1 draft pick anyway.
You're gonna get it anyway. Just get rid of the other players. Get rid of the
We're
other
not winning the
Sure.
game this year.
Yeah, it's like
Because that first game was ugly. I mean, it made me think that we should have drafted Lamar Jackson.
I know.
which
We
I-
got
Maybe
which
that's
I
more
didn't-
us than him, though.
Which I didn't understand. When people kept saying that he couldn't throw,
Lamar Jackson's a great quarterback.
he can throw, but if you look at his rookie year, it was the exact same as his freshman year at Louisville.
Right.
He didn't really understand the offense that well, so he relied on his athletic ability a lot, right? So now he understands the offense. He can just make decisions. He can just throw it with confidence. I've been watching that kid since he was 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
He always can throw.
Because he's right from down the street here. Yeah.
Played for the Pompano Cowboys.
How hard is that transition from college to NFL?
Everybody's good.
Right. It's like the ultimate all-star league,
So when you
right?
come from like Florida State, it's not a big transition.
Okay.
Because you get everybody the best shot. And then the speed that we practice at, the speed that we play at, you know, is comparable to the NFL. And you play in the Miamis, the Floridas, and Notre Dames every year, so you play on big stages. So it's probably harder for a smaller school guy to come. I mean, everybody's trying to get to that next level at Florida State, so it's not a big transition. But the only thing I noticed was the linemen, everybody can run.
The lineman.
I mean, the offensive line, defensive line, everybody can run. Like,
Right.
And the game was so fast, you know what I mean? Just like, you have to know what you're doing because you got quarterbacks that eat, sleep this. My first game I started was against John Elway. And he came and looked, he walked up to the line and smiled at me. And I was guarding Shannon Sharp.
That's not intimidating or anything.
And I was like, oh, shit. Like,
It's like, oh, I see you, rookie.
So I could tell the formation. He moved the wide receiver away to the opposite side, and he forced me to be one-on-one with Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp had an inside release, and he killed me on the first play. I ended up making a tackle, but for the next 5 plays, all the plays was coming right at me. And I was the only rookie I had. Cornelius Bennett, Jesse Tugger, all these veterans on the defense. He wanted to see if I was comfortable, if I could play, if I knew what I was doing. But you go up against guys like that every week, you know, that are, just sharp. Like you heard the comment that Brady said, "Why would I retire now? It's like having the answers to the test."
Right.
Like
I know he fascinates me. No, I'm not a Patriots fan, but
I mean, they can't do anything with him, man.
Keeps winning.
Because
what the hell?
guys
Why would you leave?
The guys that come into the league are not mentally as sharp as him. They don't study like he studies. They're not on point, and they make a ton of mistakes. And he just sits back there and just picks them apart. He's having so much fun right now. You look at him like a kid in the candy store.
in his prime. Yeah.
Living the dream. I always say living the dream. That's living the dream.
He can play to 50.
Right.
I really believe he can play to
he's
50.
like
He's in amazing shape. It's not all that the head just comes first, but he does the damn thing. His body's insane.
He's got that thing he does, the TB12.
TB12.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, do you miss Tallahassee?
Well, Tallahassee wasn't what, to me, we had a great time. Like,
Yeah. How is it? Well, I can't really say how is it being like student athlete versus just a regular.
you don't have as much
You gave
time.
me a really, really good smile right there. Like,
You don't have as
I
much
know
time.
he said it. He got me perked up too. I'm ready to talk.
So you guys were in Florida State together?
No,
No, not at the same time.
no. But all I did was have a good time. So.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you want to listen,
I'm listening.
Tallahassee is one of those places, like, even right now to this day, and I go back and I just see the kids walking around, like, man, it's a place to be.
Yeah.
And you got to understand, it's a true college town. So
yeah.
everything is ran by the college students, you know, and you got time.
That's
I mean, you're taking 2-3 classes a day. Like, the hell, if you want to set your classes, well, they're only on Tuesday and Thursdays.
right.
You can do that. You know what I mean? Shit. I mean, you go to bars and it's $1 beers and shit. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like,
They had
you don't need a lot of money.
Beer.
I didn't go to Florida State. I went to Ringling Art School, but I've spent like months at a time in Tallahassee. That town and I
nice
know each
schedule.
other pretty well.
Like, you can have $20.
We know each other real well.
$20 in Tallahassee and have a hell of a time
Yeah, you can.
with $20.
Yeah.
Right, late night Bullwinkles, the whole night. Yeah, for sure.
No, none of that's there anymore. That was kind of depressing.
It's gone. I haven't been. In a
Yeah,
long
I went
time.
back just last season, and then I was back 10 years before that. So the transition, and then about 10 years before that. So,
Yeah, I live a much more conservative lifestyle now.
Yeah, a lot's changed.
What they got? College Town now?
College Town, which was the late night library, was over in that area. Other than that was just like the hood, pretty much.
If my mom calls, tell her I'm at the library.
Yeah, yeah, I got one of those shirts.
So, obviously, Florida State Seminoles are playing Virginia, tonight, and we're all three of us at this table are hopeful. We talked about your time at Florida State. We talked about a little bit of your time in the NFL. Obviously, we're at Papa's, the beautiful mecca of seafood that is Papa's.
And we got to throw that. We got to throw the question that you threw at me that I think you stopped throwing anymore. Because Henry's. All right. I don't want to see. I want to see what Henry says.
All right, you ready? Here's the question, the ultimate question. Well, the name of the podcast is Connected by Water.
Yeah, he's gonna have a good answer.
Henry
I hope better than mine.
All right. Yeah. Henri Crockett, how are we connected by water?
Oh, we're connected by water.
I see what happened was.
I don't know.
He asked me, and I just wanted to go, so I was like, "Well, we're all made of water."
Yep.
Right.
And I said, "I poop in water," so that I had to move. So
right. Troy wants me to ask everyone this question now because he wants me to stump everybody. But
right. I know.
I can tell you one reason. One way we're connected by water is through this place, actually, and that's how we're connected by water. That's what connected by water is all about.
Yeah.
Is really making connections and building community, and bringing everyone together in our native and local area, Pompano Beach, which is connected by water. There's water throughout this entire place.
Very fluid.
Anywhere in South Florida, especially in this region below Stewart and all the way down to the Keys, is all connected by water from one side of the state to the other. But speaking of building community and building things like that, you have a Crockett Foundation.
Yes.
And I definitely want to give that the time it deserves on this podcast.
Cool.
So if you're willing and able
event,
to,
right?
yeah, if you're willing and able to talk about the Crockett Foundation, bring the noise, please.
I love it. Well, our mission at the Crockett Foundation is to build character, develop leaders, and improve communities one child at a time. And we try to do that by trying to impact the lives, not just the kids, but the families. We have like a holistic approach to our program. I had a meeting with our families last week, and I talked to them. I said, we are our family. Now, everything I try and do, I try and run our organization as a family. I give everybody a seat at the table to voice their opinions, their concerns. Because that's the only way we can truly help people. It's to meet them where they're at and to make them, to make yourself vulnerable enough that they can open up to you. And we have, in every program that I have, I always set up a certain amount of funds to help families. We call it flex funds. So if one of our families, during the hurricane, we really had to put that to test because a lot of families out of work, the roofs was all torn up, and then that was a way for us to really work with families. You know what I mean? Some of them needed food.
So that's going beyond the education arm of what you guys do.
Because you got to meet them where they're at in order to get them to the point where they can take care of the education piece. A lot of times you don't know what these kids go through before they get to the school. I had one kid while I was at the school, just happened to be there early in the day. One of my good kids is in the office. I'm like, man, that kid that's a really good kid. What you doing here? And he said, Mr. Crockett, I'm so sorry. I'm like, what's wrong? So I talked to the counselor, like, well, he was rude to the teacher and he got upset with the teacher and walked out. So I pulled him to the side. I said, you can't do that. What's going on? He said, Mr. Crockett, I got up and I didn't have any breakfast. Had no milk for the cereal. Got dressed in the dark because our lights off. I got on mismatched socks, show missed socks, and I had to get my little sister ready for school. Had to get her to school, and when I get here, she mad because I don't have paper and a pencil. I just don't have it.
Like they should have the basic things. Here,
so what I said
right?
to the teacher, like
at the very least,
as much as he went through to get here, man, he should be rewarded for just getting here. And in the grand scheme of things, not having a pencil, what does that really fall? You know what I mean? In his life, he got dressed in the dark. He don't have no electric. Got nothing to eat. Like in the grand scheme of things, give him a damn pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like what you said, meeting them where they're at, though. It's the same thing, same responsible for a teacher. You want to be an influence, you got to get on the same page.
Yeah. So all our programs,
awareness.
Yep. So all our programs, I try to incorporate the empathy piece. You have to be empathy for people. To really care about people, you have to have some empathy for them. And so that's what I always try to do. But at the same time, we also try and put on events that's really impacts the families. Like we do our back to school event, but it's more of a community health festival. And so instead of just giving kids backpacks like you the neighborhood pimp.
Where do you do that at?
We do it at my high school.
Like John Gotti style.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I partner with
out of the back of the Cadillac.
Yeah.
Bowden.
I partner with Children's Service Council. I partner with Children's Service Council. I partner with Holy Cross Hospital, Broward Health, and University of Miami and Nova to come and give out free health care. So in order to get these book bags and school supplies, you got to go through these vendors, which is Children's Service Council, Holy Cross, Broward Health, Nova, University of Miami. Get your health check, cholesterol. We do physicals, immunizations.
So you're integrating health services
Correct.
into this. Wow, that's awesome.
And I create a passport called a health.
Oh, good for you,
passport
man.
to health.
Yeah, nice.
So now, once you give me 3 stamps, you went to these places. Now you can get in line to get the free shoes, the free backpack, school supplies.
Right.
Because I always say the ones that need it the most, you almost got to force feed them. You got to kick them in the butt a little bit because a lot of time they got pride too. They're embarrassed to ask for help, and sometimes you got to let them know that help is here for you. You know what I mean? Put them in a position where they're not feeling like they're begging, or because at the end of the day, they're prideful. They want to be able to do for their family, just in a rough spot right now. So, what we try to do at the Craig Foundation, we just try and make an impact on a daily basis, and we try and just work with the families, and we try and connect the dots. So we try and get kids at an early age to identify who I want to be and what I want to do, and connect the dots, and encourage them to spend the rest of their life chasing after it. And if you know, like, even though my brother and I play NFL, the only sports that we really do in our program is golf.
Golf.
Yeah.
Is there a reason for that?
Oh yeah.
Because I can chime in on something about that.
Yeah.
But
Feel free.
tell me first.
I believe a lot of deals made on the golf course. I believe to play golf, you have to have your emotions in check. It makes you think. You know what I mean? So I try, and also they're not exposed to it, and they think it's corny. So I try to get them to do things that they would normally do.
Out of the comfort zone.
Out of their comfort zone. And then when they get out there, they feel like, it works. And they get older and they're exposed to it.
That's great. My son, when you got a kid, you want to see what sport are you going to be good at, and maybe you should just play soccer so you can run and just get the energy out and things like that. So we're trying to. My son is 6 years old and we're still working through some stuff, but based upon his behavioral pattern, he's saying he wants to play golf. We got him a set of golf clubs for his birthday back in this summer. But the things that you mentioned there, where it keeps you within yourself, you got to keep your mind focused and everything. Those are the things he needs in life. So we're kind of looking at the way to relate a sport in some way to his kind of behavioral pattern, and golf seems to be fitting that notion.
You got to be consistent too. Like with golf, you can't just do it once. You can have you play golf. You go in and get that great shot. Oh, what a great shot! And the next 10, you're in the water.
Yeah, horrible. I suck. Why am I even here?
It forces you to keep your head down. You got to be consistent. You got to do everything right all the time, and you can't get away with half-assing it or not doing it right this time.
Right.
It shows. It tells on you.
No, and you got to play it all the time, and then you got to keep your head sharp.
There's no taking any plays off.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
You play golf at all, ever?
I stopped playing because it's hard to take serious and put in the time and effort.
Yeah, it's a dedicated sport.
I got good. I wanted to play, and I like being out there. There are deals that are made out there, and I was playing twice a week, and I was in a nine-hole league. Mm-hmm. And I got good.
You played in a league?
I played in a little 9-hole league. I mean, I didn't get great. I was down in the 80, I was hitting 81.
Right.
But that was great for me, coming from
81's good.
120.
81's good, buddy.
But then
you playing? You play?
I go out there.
Yeah. Then you don't play a little bit. So you got to play.
You got to play.
You got to play.
You gotta play.
If you want to be good, you got to play twice a week. That's what I've heard, and that's what worked for me.
Or at least hit the range.
Repetition.
Yeah.
So now you guys are offering a lot of scholarships for your foundation as well, too.
Well, every kid gets a scholarship, and the thing that they have to do, and to keep it at no cost, they have to show up every day, and you can't leave early. So it's a commitment.
Right.
So in order to keep it at no cost and give you the scholarship, then your idea is that you got to show up, you got to make good grades, you got to have good attitude, and you got to give back. Mm-hmm. So we forced them to come up with one event every year that they want to give back to their community, and the kids work on it. So they commit to that, and the parents have to commit to it. We meet with the parents, because if you don't get buy-in from the parents, you're not going to get the kid.
That's
You know what I mean? So everything they do, we do parent events. Once a month, we try and get the parents all together. I don't care. Sometimes we do a bowling tournament, the kids against their parents, right here at the bowling alley, right here down the street on Federal. Like we had the kids go against the parents just so they could see what we do on a daily basis and get buy-in from the parents. So far so good. It's been great. But the idea is just I don't overthink it. Everything that we do in the organization is about exposing these kids, because I know what it's like to live in an area that's 3 miles from the beach and never went to the beach growing up. Never went past Boca. But until I met Dr. Cannell, Danny Cannell's dad, who came into my life. And he's the one who got me into golf. He got me going to the arts. He got me going to like different restaurants. Houston was the first restaurant.
Part of the arts.
Well, film. We go to a lot of movies, a lot of plays and all these things. So took me to Houston for the first time. So even to this day, me and Dr. Cannell, we still find cool restaurants, and we'll try a different restaurant all the time. Now we talk about the things to do with the kids and how to mentor them and how to be over your kids. So I knew what it did for me versus the kids in my neighborhood that didn't have a Dr. Cannell. I was able to see a lot further, and I was able to like dream a lot bigger than they could. And some of them were more talented than me, but they just didn't know what was out there. So that's when overall, like every program that we have is about exposing these kids at an early age. You know what I mean? You only know what you know. Somebody got to turn that light on for you, and that's what we do at the Crockett Foundation. How can I expose these kids to things that they won't normally do? They all gonna play football, like it's force fed. And Pompano, every kid knows about football. I don't care if you're on the east side, west side, whatever. It's a part of this. It's part of this community. But you know what? It's less than 1% of us can do that. But you know what? If I expose them to being, in the culinary arts or being a doctor, being an attorney, being a lawyer, in IT, hell, 100% of us can do that.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
So if we paying the odds, and I tell them all the time, hell, I retired at 35, 36. Even if basketball, baseball is a great jump start to life. Even if you make it and you're successful, you play 10, 15 years, hell, man, you retire, you're 37 years old. What the hell are you going to do the rest of your life?
Right.
So no matter, even if you make it, you still need to have something you can fall back on.
So you got the rest of your life to do something
because
with.
Because you realize, even the ones that don't need the money, when they retire and they don't have nothing that they can go into, they end up on the damn news doing crazy stuff. You know what I mean? And they don't need to work. But it's just having something. You're so competitive. You're so used to regimen, getting up every day, going somewhere, doing something, and doing something that you care about and you love. You have to replace that with something. You have to replace that with something that you really genuinely care about and you really love. If you don't, in that mind, it's the worst thing to do is sit and idle.
Right.
If you got time,
it's the devil's playground. What they say? Idle hands, the devil's playground. Yeah.
Especially when you have that competitive nature about you. You know what I mean? You love to compete.
Yeah. I always think that too, and you always hear this a story, or you even see it right in front of your face. Talented athletes, their whole lives, even as kids and through school, all through high school, even through college, and they just can't convert that to a professional life.
Right.
And it's like, well, man, you were so freaking good. And now what do you do with that if you didn't convert that to a professional life? That's tough, man. Because you put all your eggs in that basket. Where are you going to go from here?
Team. Home Depot and the NFL combined to do, which I thought, but they started a pilot program last year. They believe that NFL players can be great leaders. So they created a leadership program where they put them on, they bring you in, train you, put you over a couple stores. And so far, so good. O.J. Santiago is one of the first ones, my teammate in Atlanta. He started a pilot program. It's been successful so far. But you have
heard of that.
Yeah, you have to replace
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah. They're doing a great job with that. That's one of the few things that the NFL is doing good.
Yeah.
Everything else is pretty surface level, but but you got to give them an A for effort. They're really trying to find ways to, for life after football for these guys that, it's been so much of who you are.
Right.
And that's the biggest problem, and they've done away with a lot of veterans in the NFL. When I came in the NFL, everybody in my locker room was 10, 12-year veterans. I was the only rookie. They taught me how to be a professional, taught me not to waste money on stupid stuff, taught me how to dress, how to come to work every day. It taught me how to be a professional. Like now, it's not that way because
it's got to be tough if you're going to get drafted with the Dolphins this year. You're not going to have that kind of leadership.
No one is going to have it. There's only a few teams that have it, like Pittsburgh, New England, because we had this. We created something called the veteran minimum in 1997.
Right.
Because we really believe that, and the players voted unanimously to do this. We believe that guys that have been playing 7, 8, 10 years shouldn't be making the same much as a rookie coming in.
Through the Players Association?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we worked a deal with the NFL Players Association, worked a deal, and we wrote it to, if you've been playing like 6 years, 5, 6 years, we got the veteran minimum. You had to make a minimum of $800,000. So now these guys that own these NFL teams are businessmen. So it worked good for the initial guys, but now they're saying to myself, shit, the minimum right now ain't number $300,000.
Right.
And I got to pay this guy over here $900, and he ain't doing them and running down on special teams. Shit, I can get 3 guys for that price. So it started weeding out all the veterans. So now you don't have that veteran guy that he probably didn't score 10 touchdowns, but he was a great locker room guy. He was that guy that was sitting down with that young guy you just got drafted.
That's crazy. I didn't even think about that.
So now you don't. So now if they calling guys veterans year 3 and 4, fucking 3, 4, you couldn't even open your mouth in the locker room when I was playing. But now that veteran minimum killed it. Like,
what year did you guys go to the Super Bowl in
99.
Atlanta? 99.
Yep.
So you're in the league. You're in the league for like 4 years?
That's my second year.
Was that second year? Man, I went to art school, so math is not my fucking thing. So how was that? I mean, Super
it was
Bowl.
great coming home, man. You know,
I heard stories about people like walking out for warm-ups and just like throwing up on the field. I mean, is it like that much of a nerve-wracking situation? I have heard that.
It's almost
from Florida State, man. Come on.
No, but I'm saying, look, I don't know. Look at me. I'm freaking 5'6". I don't play professional football. I know I'm asking a question.
They probably thought because they were out last night. But no, the Super Bowl is almost like such a big production.
Yeah.
And I remember Cher. Cher performed. She sung the national anthem.
Where was it at?
Dolphin Stadium.
Was it?
Yeah,
It was here?
Yeah, he's here.
That must have been cool. Your whole family probably show up for that. Oh man, that was probably a great moment for you.
Was it Joe Robbie then, or it was pro player?
It's always Joe Robbie.
Yeah. So man, I couldn't believe how beautiful Cher was and how great shape she was. I think she was like over 50 at the time. I was like, wow.
So that's what you're taking out of your Super Bowl experience. Cher was a great
To be honest with you, that's the only thing I remember her walking by me.
That was the Super Bowl, Henry. Oh, Cher looked awesome.
She had a white beat. She had a white beat on with some jeans. I was like, damn, this lady fine. That's just God in the truth. That's what I remember the most about the Super Bowl. But it took so long for us to get going.
Yeah.
Because they have to get all that production stuff out of the way. Like you come out to warm up to play the game, and it's another hour before you play.
It's a big production.
It's a big production. Like you got
He's back here again this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how did you guys meet? I mean, how you guys connected through this whole?
We met for give a shout out to I think Jason Pepitone, right?
Yeah, J-Pep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Pep wanted to do. He's known me I think since I was a baby. It's hard to believe is he a great grandpa Jay?
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, man, a great grandpa. So
he's a grandpa for sure.
And I know Eileen and Chip.
And Eileen and Chip.
Believe it or not.
Are they coming today?
No.
I want to have Chip on the podcast because
that'd be great.
He's a big proponent of the Everglades Clean Water
Initiative.
Initiative.
100%. He's huge.
So this is Connected by Water is the name of the show. I would definitely want to have him on and talk about that.
Yeah, he'll love to. He love to talk. So
and I know Chip. through.
Chip is great.
See, he graduated. He went to Givens. I think he graduated in '87 with like my brother and Chuck Faust and Bill May and like a whole bunch of other older guys.
So I'll tell you a quick story. Because when I first hired Eileen, she was like, believe it or not, a lot of people in Pompano don't really know about the Crockett Foundation. I'm like, huh? So she was like, we got to start finding awareness. That's when she came to you guys.
Yeah, I remember we met at Seafood World.
And you guys did that big fundraiser for us.
We did a fundraiser here. I think we raised close to 30 grand. Yeah, and
that was the very first time we ever raised.
We just opened.
Really?
Yeah. We took over that whole back room.
It was just in that back room there. We put a tent outside, but everybody was in that back room, and it was a paid-for event.
Yep.
I got to tell you the truth. When Troy was on the podcast, I'm like, we were talking about what we were trying to accomplish and everything like that, and then he started instantly telling me about your foundation, and I bring him on. I'm a freaking hardcore Florida State fan. I'm like, absolutely bring Henri Crockett on.
What we do is
I started reading up about the foundation, and it's an amazing foundation.
Yeah, no, we've been close since then because it's Henry's doing great things.
Yeah.
And I love how he puts it out there and getting back to the kids because That's what it's all about, and the families in order to reach the kids. Like everything he's saying is just amazing.
Right.
Right. That's why I was so quiet.
And it's great. Like it's like I said, it's like a family restaurant. You know, man. They open the doors for us. Even if I call, I'm on the highway. Hey, Troy, listen, bringing the family. Okay, I'm gonna call Cassie. They've been
We called a boss.
Yeah.
So,
It's tough not to warm up to these
No,
guys.
but they've been an amazing help to us. Like even our big event, I can call. They give us stuff for the silent auction and all these things. They always there to support us. Like I say, the very first time we ever had an event that we raised money, we did it here. And ever since then, they've been a huge supporter of us. Thank you for that always.
I remember we did have to, and so you had a share on your mind. I had these, we had cheerleaders here that day that were walking around with their ass hanging out. And that was thanks to, I think Jay hired those girls too. And my mom looked at me and they're like, hey, what are you doing to raise money, Troy? I think we had them go buy some undergarment. Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, they were changing an office. I was high out of my mind back then, so it was those
were the days, right? When Troy was on the podcast, when they did the Troy and Cassie podcast, like it basically was like I had no idea. This is completely unscripted, like all this stuff. This entire podcast, like I'd never want like there to be any sort of formality or anything like that. And I'm like, Troy and I had known each other, pretty decently, you know what I mean? But I was like, all right, you come on, Connected by Water was, I think it was our second episode.
Yeah.
Or our second ever podcast. And I'm like, he's like, what are you going to talk about? I don't know. Whatever, just come on, shoot the shit. And he comes on, he starts laying all this stuff. Oh, my former life and like all the,
We talked about my stripper name.
I'm like, all right, we can go down that road. Go ahead.
My penis name. I mean,
right,
yeah.
My mom's watching.
I know. Sorry.
It's all right. I said, Mom, we're going live at Papa's tonight. You're going to watch.
My mom just left, so.
But
Hi, Mom.
The cool thing, I always tell people all the time, man, in order to be able to tell people how to go through something, you got to go through something yourself. Yeah. Like some of the, the greatest teachers been through a lot, man.
And that's hard having children.
Yeah.
And circle back to the children and tell, I care a lot about my kids. And for me to have to kind of quiet it down sometimes and let them live, that's one thing my dad did for me. Yeah. But it's hard to let them live because I know what they should be doing and what's better for them. So it's hard to
one of the things that we talked about when you were on the podcast before is honesty, and I want to bring that up again. Because when you talk about the kids and honesty and kind of bridging that gap, I mean, especially you, because you live more of a public life than we have.
Right.
You know what I mean? So anything that you've done might have been a little bit more out.
Yeah.
It's tough, I think, communicating that to your kids. My kids are 6 and 8. They're starting to get older. And I'm starting to notice that I need to really speak to them differently now about myself, about whatever. And like,
it is, but then even just because you're doing it, just because you're doing it doesn't mean that, for me, I'm all out there. But just because you're doing it, that doesn't mean that you're going to have to expect it back from them. Like somebody told me last year, talking about my story, and I've been on a story kick.
Correct.
Because it just took all this pressure off me. And wow, that's my story. That's okay. And now sometimes I have to realize for my kids that that's just their story too.
Yeah.
So to find that space, yes, I'm a parent. But at the same token, I mean, these kids got to develop and go through the experiences themselves too. So it's.
Yeah, no, you're right.
A lot.
But I mean, it's I don't know, man. It's always a situation for me in my head, like to be like, all right, well, I told you I spent months at a time in Tallahassee, and it's like, well, did they ever need to find out about that, or did they, it's like, when did they find out about that? Or
I don't think you blab it out to them, but if they ask, yeah.
But I do. I have adult conversations with my kids. I talk to them about life. I talk to them about challenging themselves. I talk to them about expectations. I talk to them a lot of times about even last night. Sometimes in life is about who you know.
Yeah.
We
talked like the Dr. Cannell thing is like a huge influence for you.
Yeah.
And those things matter.
It matters. Relationship that you build matters. That you have to build organic relationships, real relationships.
Yeah.
And you can't do it alone.
Right.
Like, I know a lot of people that's talented, but they didn't have the right help around. They didn't have the right people around them. It's important that not only being talented, but you got to have a good supporting cast. You got to have people that's going to help you.
Agreed.
I always tell you got to have somebody that's going to help fan your flame. Like, I tell my kids, I'm their biggest cheerleader. Even though I'm tough on them, I'm their biggest cheerleader.
I agree.
I'm tough on my son, but I want him to understand set goals. We talk about goals every day, which you didn't tell me your goals today, buddy.
Every day, every day.
Every game we play, we talk about.
You're
goals.
You're making me feel inefficient right now.
No, goal is awareness.
Awareness.
What you're
Awareness is
grateful
so
for.
huge. Like,
That's what I talk about. Do you know where I'm coming from? Because I can yell at my son all day, but now that's what I start off to aware. Can we practice the awareness and get back to it? Because my son, once I start yelling at him, he's
shut down.
They're shut down. So you got to get on their level, like you were talking about.
Yep.
But awareness has been. That's where I try and break down everything to my kids. Are you aware of what you're doing? Are you aware of the impact you're having?
Right.
On me as a parent. And then to talk to a kid like this, my parents didn't talk to me that way.
Yeah,
my mom take off her shoe and beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, no, I grew up in a very conservative household too, so it's like that too.
Yeah.
I wanna say today we posted up on Facebook that we were gonna have a mystery guest, and that person has arrived.
Oh, I didn't even see him sneak in.
He has right, and you know what? Hey Matt,
Come on, man. I got some stories.
bring the
about this
noise,
guy.
baby. Put the headphones on. Matt Dubuck, former Cardinal
How you doing?
Gibbons
We all went to Gibbons with Henry.
Yep.
State.
I almost went to Gibbons.
Right, fellow Cardinal Gibbons graduate myself. Hello,
You're going to
sir.
have to loop back
All right,
around.
so
and get in
once
that
you go
chair.
back, actually put the headphones underneath the thing. Underneath, and there you go. So Matt Dubuck, fellow Cardinal Gibbons graduate with myself, played at Texas Tech in the Canadian Football League, and he is the current head coach of Cardinal Gibbons football and current reigning state champion. I couldn't be more proud of the gentleman that's across the table from me right now.
I appreciate that. It was a good year last year,
Great year.
and we're having a good start to this year. So we're going to keep that going, and hopefully give us an opportunity to be right back where we were a year ago.
I always say that one of the biggest prerequisite for this show is you got to be kind and you got to be humble, and you're the ultimate epitome of that. So you got to bring the noise for me today.
You tough, man. Don't let it fool you now. You tough.
I know he is. Listen, I used to do up downs with this guy. I used to go head to head with this guy, and he used to kick my ass all the time. So trust me, I know exactly what Matt Dubuck is. So yeah, he was hardcore.
I appreciate that. Henry and I had a few battles, and
I want to hear the story. You said you were waiting for him to come.
yeah.
Now
I was trying to tell them, when first, they had Shiki Press and Donnell Bennett and what's his name, Childs.
Antoine
Childs, yep.
So they all graduated and left. So we played them in, was it the Jamboree?
Yeah, we played at our place.
Played them at Jamboree. And so we thinking that we're going to go and kick their ass and all this stuff. Their horses are gone. All we know about this guy that played hockey, ice skating, ice skating or hockey, what was it you was playing?
Yeah, ice skating. Yeah.
Ice skating.
yeah, ice skating.
We could not fucking tackle this guy. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
We could not tackle him. Like, he used to make this sharp cut. I'll never forget. It was like, it's one of those nights that you just got to chalk it up.
Matt was slick, man.
He made great cuts.
Yeah.
He was low. He made great cuts that couldn't get a hit on him.
Was that 100 years ago?
Yeah. Matt, listen, when you put your foot in the ground, dude, no one knew where you were going.
Well, I'll say this, I don't like looking too far back anymore. I like looking forward, and we played Fort Lauderdale last night, and we had a nice win. Good win. But I'll tell you this.
Bring it a little closer.
Friday Night Lights, you try to find that somewhere in America. And I played in college and recruited in West Texas and Odessa, Permian, and places like that where college or high school football is like the epitome of life. And I think over the last 3 years at Gibbons, we've created a little bit of that. I can't say we're putting 20,000 in the seats, but we get 3,000, 2,500 people at our place. It is the place to be.
It's the talk of town.
It's a great atmosphere for these kids. And, I had a meeting today with our offense today, and I said, guys, we do our job over the next few weeks, we'll be hosting another playoff game. And everybody's eyes light up because those playoff games that we hosted, 4 of them last year, were some of the craziest games. And when I'm talking crazy games, but I'm talking
That Heritage game was just like...
The fan base was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about at our level. It's not Florida State or Texas Tech or any of these places where they get 60,000 people in these huge stadiums. It's 2,500 people packed in watching the game and being dialed in, and I think that's what keeps me coming back, year in and year out.
It's awesome.
So, I think I could speak for every Cardinal Gibbons graduate, especially the class of '92, that say we are extremely proud of you.
I appreciate that.
I mean, what you did for all of us. I mean, with the way you stepped in and took Mike's position over and turned this into something really, truly special. I mean, it's almost kind of like, all right, there goes Matt off to journey to Texas Tech and your football life. You build your football life, right? And what you've thought through and what you've accomplished and what you developed in your mind about that, you took all those assets, you brought that back to Gibbons, right? And it shows. And you built something really, truly special. You've really reconstructed this program. That's amazing.
Well, I think.
And Mike's done a great job.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I don't want to take anything from Coach Morrill or anything, but really, Matt, it's impressive.
Well, what Henry can tell you, just if the administration's behind you, that's number one. You got to have the administration, and our principal that just retired, Paul Ott, has been there for 45 years. When I took the job, we were very detailed on what we wanted to accomplish, and he was on board. There's a lot of places, Henry's, alma mater, I don't know if they have the same vision at times, and I think that's why you'll see some programs go up and down. Mike was always was able to keep it steady, but I've been able to kind of take that next step, and again, it all goes on hard work, administration, and good group of people around you, and creating the environment that the kids want to be a part of. And we have we're air raid, we throw the ball a lot. I think that attracts a lot of kids and quarterbacks. But I'll tell you what we've done a great job of is playing defense over the last 3 years. And they say defense wins championships. I don't know if I can argue with that. I mean, our defense played great last year, or for 3 years since I've been the head coach. And we lost a lot of guys. Chris Bogle of Florida, and yeah. And I'll tell you what, everybody just kind of left us for dead. And right now, our defense has outplayed our offense this year and has been lights out. And against Miami Northwestern, they gave up 13 points.
That's phenomenal.
And not Miami Northwestern is maybe one of the best teams in the country. So, when you can play defense and then obviously have an offense like we have, where we spread the ball around the guys that can, make plays. It's exciting. Mm-hmm. Last night we were the end zone away from the student section. I was looking at the clock trying to hold off to score a touchdown on the other end, because our guys get so pumped up. They go shake hands in the end zone. It's almost like the flop in Green Bay. And that's the environment. The guys feed off of it. It's a great place for a home game, and I'm happy to be the head coach there and do something that you like you said earlier. I've had a lot of journeys. You take the good and the bad, you process it, and you see what works in your program, and you build a program that way. And that's kind of what we've done over there.
I think it definitely shows you've had a lot of success in a very short period of time, and it's amazing. How have you guys connected previous to this?
Well, I was telling you, one of the kids in my program is out there. Actually, I talked to him today. He was at the Miami game, Gerald. And Gerald's an interesting cat, but he needs someone like Coach DeBuck. And he could be, one of those kids that you want to do right, but he just has so much disappointment in his life. So he needs that father figure. And sometimes, he don't want to hear the truth, but he needs somebody that's going to tell him the truth. And sometimes he can get away from that, but he always comes back.
Yeah.
And so I was happy. I remember when he wanted to, his biggest things, he wanted to play football. He was a big kid, wanted to play football. He wanted to go to these private schools, these St. Tony's and all these other schools he wanted to go to.
Is he at Gibbons right now?
Yeah, Gibbons.
He's our
What
left
position
tackle.
does he play?
Left
tackle?
Committed to Florida.
Committed to Florida. Big kid, big baby.
What year? He's a junior or
Senior.
Senior?
The senior right now. And he just I would always have to work on him because he had a lot of people give up on him in life, so he needs someone in his life that's going to tell him the truth.
That's great, Henry.
And now he gets to the point sometimes he rebel on it because, he wants certain things, but a lot of times he don't know how to get it. And so you always need people in your corner that's going to tell you the truth, regardless of of the outcome. It might
Well,
not
certain
be
things like what though, like
when you say like he wanted to go to a private school, right?
right.
And I wanted him to go to a private school because I didn't feel like I could put him in an E-League. Like, because
Is he a Pompano kid?
he's a Pompano kid. I went to
Yeah.
school with his mom, but he'll get eaten up at a school like E-League
Yeah.
because at that point he wasn't like a leader. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up in it my whole life, and yet I could be in that school and I was fine because everybody else I was surrounded around, you know. So he would go and he probably would follow the crowd. So he needed to be with somebody that's going to be more hands-on with him, be more like a father figure to him, be tough on him, not going to just tell him what he want to hear. And I'll never forget, he decided to go to Ely against my wishes. It was December.
Did he tell you about this, or did you find out about it?
No,
All right.
we talk about it. But at some point, you got to let him do what he want to do.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
There's
It
only
wasn't.
so many-
It wasn't
yeah.
6 months.
You only lead the horse to water. You can't expect him to drink. Is that
It
what they
wasn't.
say?
But the nice kids want to meet. But it wasn't 6 months. Oh wow.
Oh.
That's nice.
Look at that.
All right. Matt, look at you.
Doesn't even fit.
This makes me happy.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna. Which camera's on me, John?
That's
Is it
nice.
this one right there? This is the state championship ring.
My wife designed that ring, by the way.
Did she?
Yeah.
This is gorgeous, Matt.
Yeah.
Look
She
at
did a
you,
good
just
job.
throwing that out on the table like it's nothing.
Yeah, it
good.
doesn't even
Yeah. I put it on? No, I don't deserve to put that on.
I don't figure.
That's nice. But back to what I was saying, like within 6 months, he wanted to transfer out of it. So we was there.
Well done.
We was there to get with Coach Dubuck, and Coach Dubuck welcomed him with open arms.
Yeah.
And he's grown into a man now. You know, I'm excited because this was his dream. His dream was to go to a major university and play football. You know, and going back 5-6 years ago, you know, even though that was a dream, I knew it would be hard for him to get there. But he had to be surrounded around the right people. And I think by going to Carter Givens gave him that structure.
Yep.
That not only when you go to college, I'm more happy that he's gonna be prepared academically when he gets there. Like,
He's a smart guy.
smart guy.
Smart guy.
That's great. We talked about the mentors. I mean, it's so influential, so important in your life. I know I don't know where I'd be if it wasn't for the mentors in my artistic life.
Correct.
And the people guiding me along the way, tell me the right way to do things, the wrong way to do things. And I know you definitely have mentors in your life that you push you in the right
I
direction.
didn't listen to a lot of them.
Yeah,
and I hung out with the wrong crowd. I made a lot of bad choices. But,
people learn at different times.
That's my story, you know, and I'm happy where I'm at today. So
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop though. Like as you
Right.
get older, when you have that background, you have different challenges. Like it's gonna be something else you're gonna have to, you know. I mean, he knows wrongs and rights, so it won't be that. But it's like decision making. I always try and tell him and just any kid I mentor, like life is about choices.
Yeah. It's all about
Yeah.
choices and how you respond to them, right?
And how you treat people.
Yeah. I agree.
How you treat
100%.
people is so important because it's the people that you have on your team right now, you want to have them on your team 10 years from now because, especially in this NFL game, this is what you really want to do? Guess who they're coming to talk to?
Yeah.
That's the first stop. This is what my brother do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
He coming to the high school coach. He want to know the counselor. He want to know how he treated the kid in the cafeteria. He want to talk to the coach. But they getting ready to make a huge investment in you. I don't want to invest no money in the a-hole.
Right.
They need to know that, and that's where you're trying to get these kids to understand that, like, it ain't just about right now. Every decision that you make costs, and it's all gonna be a part of your journey. It's all gonna be on your resume. You got to figure out what you want on your resume.
Matt, what kind of now that you're a head coach of young men, you have a huge responsibility for guiding these people's lives. You know, I often say, and I could be way off, but just the way I see it, the comparison between like a Nick Saban versus a Dabo Sweeney. Nick seems to me like, all right, Nick's out to win championships, Dabo's out to raise men. That's just the way I see it. I could be way off, right? But, I mean, I don't know if that's the truth or not. That's just my perception of it. Now, taking that idea and that mindset, where does winning and just raising young kids come into play? What's that balance that how you responded to that?
Man, that's a tough question because my college coach was a guy named Spike Dykes. You know, great guy and great like a grandfather figure. Never called a play, never ran a defense. You know, when I was playing, but you could always go into his office and talk to him and whatnot. You know, I still teach 4 classes, man. it's not easy. You know, I get to work at 6:30 in the morning, and I don't get home until 7 o'clock at night. And I'm usually on the phone dealing with parents or dealing with kids or social media. The social media thing is a whole nother animal that nobody had to deal with before. And that's an issue that these kids don't understand. And you can talk to them until you're blue in the face, but they still go out there and post stupid things and do dumb things. And it's unfortunate, but it happens, and you can tell them. But as far as winning and losing, you know, I don't think my job's on the line, you know, unless we go 0-10. But for me personally, I'm not doing this to lose. So, you know, I love winning. So I'm out there busting my butt every day. Our coaches are. On Saturday morning, we were there at 9 o'clock this morning. We had 60 guys in the weight room and on the field. That's how you build a program. Now, the academic piece, we don't put up with anything but your best. And the guys that don't do their part won't be around for very long. And it's not me that gets rid of them.
Right.
It's the school will. You know, you got to do your job. And that's our big motto, do your job. You know, we say it every day. You know, the kids get sick of hearing me saying this, but be a team, be the most excited to play, and be the best at doing your job. Can't play with 10 when you can play with 11. You know, and those are key terms. When you say playing with 10 when you're supposed to be playing with 11, somebody not doing their job. So that's it's not hard, and anybody can do it, but the grind every day to be on top of it, it's like owning a business. You got to show up when you don't feel good. You got to, you know, reprimand people when they're not representing your business the way you should. And that's kind of the way I treat it. A little Saban-ish, but you know, with our piece at Gibbons, I think we're a cross between both, middle ground. But you know, this thing isn't easy. It's not easy. And these public school coaches, I give them a lot of credit because the support that they don't get, that I do, a big time difference. And that's why in high school football, you see it's like a Power 5 now. Cardinal Gibbons, St. Thomas, American Heritage, Chaminade. You know, there's a couple public schools that are doing well, like Deerfield or Plantation. Steve Davis, a great coach. But after that, it's tough. It's tough to do, and the amount of time that these guys put in for what they get paid, it's pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, I mean, we've known each other a long time, so I can speak firsthand to the intensity level that you bring to the field. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, there's anyone that knows you is never going to question that.
Well, when you're not that talented, you got to work extra hard.
Stop it! Stop it!
Come on, man.
You got more talent in your finger, little pinky. You kidding me?
Look at me. Come on.
Are you kidding me, Matt? Listen, if any of Matt's current players or even like recent players are watching this dude was the shit on the field.
Have you ever pulled out in the film?
No, man.
Come on.
You know, people talk. You know, that's about as far as I go. That was ancient history, man. I'm in the today and moving forward. Now, I will say this. I will say this to kids when they don't want to listen. Or I said, "Have you ever got paid to play?"
Right.
I said, "Well, I have."
Yeah.
So until you get paid to play, don't question it.
Right.
So that's about as far as I go with all that.
You were throwing a little bit of a curveball before the state championship last year with your starting quarterback going down.
Yeah.
And we talked about you raising men and guiding young men's lives. And what kind of a challenge is that for you? I mean, you got one kid that's probably his heart's broken to little pieces.
Yeah.
You know, and then you got another kid looking at opportunity, staring him in the face. Obviously, you converted the situation. You guys won the state championship.
Yeah.
Can you take us through that a little bit?
Yeah, you know, Henry will tell you, you know, usually your quarterback is the heart and soul of any team, but
The politician, Henry said.
yeah,
Politician.
like you know, but you know, we lost our quarterback, and the other kid had to play American Heritage the next week.
Right.
And you know, Heritage we hadn't beaten until we had beat them early in the season.
You
About
like
10
17
years.
overtimes in that game. Like that.
Man, I lost a lot of hair and sleep.
Yeah.
That, you know, a lot of gray hair after that. But you know, the kid came in and played well, and he's our starter now. And you know, he's won the state championship. And I'll tell you what, and Henry will tell you this: I had two other quarterbacks that were really good. Didn't think they could beat him out, and they both left. That's the age of free agency in high school football. You can't even say, okay, well, wait your turn. You'll have 2 years to start. No, I got to start now. So I lost 2 quarterbacks. You know, this kid's 150 pounds, 160 pounds, and he's scaring everybody off. And you're like, you're one ankle injury, one toenail, one thumb. Just be patient. And unfortunately, today's day, none of these kids are patient. Social media. We were on that show QB1. I don't know if you guys seen it on Netflix.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, they ham it up for the camera and you know, listen, like I said, you know, you got your coach making $5 million a year, you know. He can put up with a lot of that stuff.
Right.
I don't make $5 million a year. I wish I did, but
It's tough, man. You know, I asked Coach Bowden, could he coach in this time? And he said it'd be tough.
Yeah.
Because kids, everybody wants to leave. They got this new portal. You just put your name in the portal and start your recruiting process all over again.
I think that's what happens with a lot of the coaches that were once great coaches, is that they stay in their lane and they don't want to adapt to the, you know, had a big effect.
The one thing I said, and I was, this was Jimbo when I was there. I asked him, what is Dabo and Saban doing to get these kids where they're okay with waiting?
They're taking all of the kids.
Everybody's saying that these kids don't want to wait. If they don't play as a true freshman, they want to leave. You can't tell them they're not going to play. So I'm asking, what is Alabama and Clemson doing? Because these kids are redshirt. These kids sitting around. Like, what culture are they creating?
Right, because you look at a program like UCF, to where like the talent's probably going to start sooner than they would have, and they're experiencing a lot of success.
Right.
The one thing I'll say, Henry, and I won't disagree, but I will a little bit. You don't hear the transfers that are leaving Alabama and Florida State like you do with some other programs that are maybe not winning as much, and they do a good job keeping that quiet for a big part. But I think Dabo is a guy that is a great. He's got something that those guys don't, and I think Nick Saban rules with an iron fist and says, you want to play on Sunday, you got to be here.
Well, I guess that's what my point earlier, the difference between the two. I mean, not that one's better than the other, but I guess that the only reason bringing that up just to say, like, more like what's your style, what's your balance in that whole scenario. Though. So
we don't like getting pushed around by parents or kids, but every so often you got to cut bait.
Right.
And you got to call somebody's bluff and say, okay, you don't want to be here. And again, I'm telling you this: we got a beautiful locker room, we got a great field, we got Friday night lights as good as anybody around. We got the best. I'm not going to say the best, but as good an education as you're going to get any place, anywhere. You don't want to be a part of this, then you got to roll.
Yeah,
you just take off.
That's awesome.
And that's, you try to treat every situation as an individual one, but at some point when people just want to continue to go down that negative road, you got to let them go.
I tell you one thing: if there's a parent watching this right now, wondering maybe perhaps if their kid wants to play football for Gibbons, I mean, I can personally vouch for you that the program's legit. You're out to win, but at the same time, you're about raising men and doing it the right way and
being honest.
Yeah, being honest. There you go.
I think that's the biggest thing that most people are not. And I think we're going to be honest all the time, not some of the time, but all the time. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully Florida State. Henry
why are you laughing? Why are you laughing, Matt?
Give me a dad gun.
What was that laugh about?
Jeez, I'll tell you what. I like your offensive coordinator. I think that guy's talent, and I think he just needs a little time.
He needs a little time. I was just saying too. It's like
needs to show up for the second half.
The second half, he's going to play the second half, though.
I think he's a good coach.
I'm going to take a 2-minute break.
Yeah, I think he has it. I think he's. Last year, we couldn't score points. This year, we scored a lot of points, and I always believe we scored 37 points. We should be able to win the game. We just got to find a way to the second half to extend those drives, because I think that's the part of the problem with the defense, keeping the defense on the field. 108 plays.
They need some more Henri Crockett's. I mean, that's truly the bottom line of defense. They don't have it doesn't look like they have what you guys had physically. And I worked their camp for years. I'd go up and work Jimbo's camp, and Jimbo did a good job. But today it doesn't look like they got Henri Crockett there.
They got a bunch of paper guys. Right? They got a lot of guys that were paper 5 because we're in the top 5 every year, except for last year. Outside of that,
all those stars. I'm gonna tell you what.
How do they get these stars?
They get them from rivals, going to these camps, non-padded camps.
Yeah.
And then the guy runs a 4.4 or, jumps a 38, and all of a sudden he's a 5-star player because he might have had 7 plays on his highlight tape. And who's doing the evaluation?
Right.
Some non-football guy sitting in the computer room all day long. That's the way I look at it. It's not the good football player. We had a kid, Sidney Porter, that went to Marshall this year, or last year. I don't know if you've seen him. He's a Pompano kid. And Donnell Bennett compares him to Ed Reed. You think Miami would even give him 5 seconds? All he did was block like 9 punts and extra points, have like 7 or 8 interceptions in 2 years, back to back, and he's going to Marshall. And he's at Marshall now. Now, he wasn't a Blazer. He's never going to test out at a camp. Great. But if you watch his film, maybe one of the most impressive players you're going to see. But, he's a 4'7", 4'6" guy, but he's a football player. And that's where these guys have missed the boat. They got all these guys that have no football knowledge, just looking at numbers, and numbers don't lie. But I had a debate the other day. Lincoln Riley, I know very well. He calls the game from the field. I used to call the game from the box, and then when I became the head coach, I called it from the field. I think there's a better vantage point from the box, but when you're on the field, you can look somebody in the eye. Before the quarterback goes out, you know exactly where he's at mentally. When you're in the box, it all looks good. Every play looks good from the box. But on the field, you hear the hits. You see the snot bubble. You see a guy and look him in his eye, and you know he's not right, or you know he's right. And there's an advantage, and I think Lincoln Riley, which will probably be coaching the NFL next year, I think a guy like Lincoln Riley has been able to kind of capture that in his offensive scheme, and he's an example of you don't have to be in the box. Mike Leach, another guy, calls it from the field. And, I just think there's that advantage of being on the battleground with the Warriors and leading those guys. And sometimes the guys in the box don't quite see what we see. But, they got a different vantage point too. But, I don't know. That's kind of my philosophy on it.
What you thought about Mike Leach? What you think about Mike Leach? He's an interesting guy, right?
Yeah, I've been to Pullman. I've been to Key West with him. He's an interesting guy. I spent like 4 hours with him in a bar one night, and I said, "Okay, Coach, let's talk about red zone concept." We're walking down Duval Street. It's like 2 a.m. I said, "Talk to me about what do you like in the red zone?" Slants and fades. Okay, what else you got?
I've had different conversations in Duval Street at 2 a.m.
What else you got, Coach? Like, I came here to talk about football. What else you got? Well, slant, ends up like a fade. And that's what you get. But the nice thing about Leach is I just sent him Deion McIntosh. He had a little issue at Notre Dame. We got him over to Washington State. And Leach is, you see this persona on social media. The guy is tough and rough on these kids. That, you're up at 5 a.m., you miss a practice, you miss a workout, you miss a class. He does not mess around. He should be coaching somewhere on the East Coast because he's got a house in Key West, and he will win a national championship if they can get him over here. Somebody's got to just take a chance.
We turned him down.
Foolishness. The guy is
Brilliant.
Weird, funky, whatever you want to call it. But man, oh man, that guy is just a flat-out genius when it comes to calling plays, and we run the same offense, like the same exact.
Did you take the air raid thing? You take that from Texas Tech, or is it?
No, I took it from when Leach. I was coaching at West Texas A&M. My recruiting area was Lubbock into Odessa. Sonny Dykes, which is now the head coach at SMU, and Dana Holgrimson, and Lincoln Riley, and Art Browse were all on that staff. Robert and I'd go down there when I'd recruit, go into the office and see Sonny, and that's kind of how I got hooked. And then I got to know Leach. He's great at texting. You text him in the morning, boom, boom, you get back what you need. He texts me, what are you doing different on 95? Okay, you really want to know? I mean, I'm not changing anything, Coach. There's no need to. It's just, but.
So that's the system.
It's the system.
Where you're staying in it. Yeah, it's good.
But the biggest thing about the system, and it's the same as your restaurants, and you got to do it every day consistently. Like you can't take days off. And
you can, but you know what happens. Yeah. You certainly.
Our guys.
Well, you relate that though. I mean, you're talking about like not taking days off. Running the football team. You talk about running the league as a business. You got a guy here that runs a very good business. You know what I mean? There's definitely a parallel there.
We're growing stronger, but everything is funny, whether it's business or football, the same things that are ringing a bell in my head. Honesty, DNA, structure. You're only as strong as your systems.
Right.
What is that system? Having your team understand the story. We're a family business here, and it wasn't until we really started to get things ironed out until we started to work as a team.
Right.
And
we talked a little
really
bit about
before
the podcast. You and I talked a little bit about your position right now, and then your coaching system, the way you're coaching your employees, how you're not like working a set schedule now, but you actually find yourself working more. Yeah. But and the advantage of looking at from a bird's eye view, right? Now, do you take Matt? You're talking about like the bird's eye view of like how you're running your team. And also, you got a bird's eye view too of how you're running your foundation, Henry. So it's kind of like there's like all these parallels going in, and I don't think really you got to really overthink any of it specific to football, specific to a foundation, specific to a business, specific to an art studio. I mean, it's really kind of like your goals at the end of the day, your success, right?
I agree.
My bottom line is consistency. Do it every day. Our kids on offense get sick of what we do because it becomes so monotonous. But that's why we win it. We win a lot of games and score a lot of points.
Yeah,
that's the bottom
It's
line.
funny. I was listening to Bill Belichick and the offensive coordinator. I forgot his name.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he said.
So the guy from Tennessee?
No, one right now, the offensive coordinator. What is his name? He was the head coach for Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so didn't he coach at Tennessee for a little bit? I mean, maybe I'm.
No, he was with the Broncos.
I'm thinking of Lane Kiffin. Never mind.
So he made a
Josh Daniels.
Josh Daniels. Yeah,
they got a special out. It's called Just Do Your Damn Job.
Right.
And he talked about in the Super Bowl, like once he get down on the line, like he goes back to plays that he knows that his running backs, his offensive line, quarterback are comfortable with. Plays that he's done 1,000 times. He just keep it basic. Mm-hmm. He said, I get in that system, I get down on the 5, I'm not finna try and call no funky play. I'm gonna find a play that I know that they're comfortable with, that they've done 1,000,000 times.
It's also got Tom Brady.
That's true.
Yeah, kind of helps.
But one of the things we talk about just being
and
consistent.
a fantastic offensive line.
Yeah. But they do everything. If you ever look at them, they very basic.
They got strong systems.
They are basic.
They very basic.
I think
but
that's the most
just
frustrating part as a Dolphin fan. It's like, man, this is the team looks basic too, but they're converting. They're winning.
They just what they do very well.
Right.
And a lot of times you can put all these other fancy defenses in. Just do what you do and do it well. That's it.
Well, we played last night, and as a coach that loves to throw the ball, we had about 40-mile-an-hour gusts. First play of the game, we get the ball on offense. Ball gets deflected, pick, and then you get a little weary, and second drive wasn't as good as we wanted it to be. Then we scored 6 times in a row.
You guys went on a flurry last night.
Yeah, you got to weather the storm. You can't panic. But what Henry's saying is right. I mean, just do what you do well and continue to do it, and don't listen to the noise. When you do that, I think you have success. But it takes good players. It takes good organization.
Yeah.
It takes good staff. It takes everything that goes along with making this work. And I think the good people that do these jobs, it's a crossover.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. I'm going to go to the bathroom and head out. So I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
so I already took my bathroom break.
Yeah.
This guy, listen.
It was nice to meet you.
Thank you.
This guy.
I like your story.
Yeah, so by the way, Matt, Troy, Matt. So this is his house here.
Awesome.
So
Thank you very much. It was
Matt,
great.
I really thank you for coming on today.
I appreciate you
And,
having me. If you need anything in the season or whatever, you want to come out to a game and whatever, just let me know. You'll be my guest.
Absolutely.
Same here.
Absolutely.
We support the club a lot, and I went there. I didn't finish there, but no, we love your story, and we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys.
All right, thanks, Matt. The mystery guest.
I love how he dropped the honesty bomb.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
It's just,
Hold on.
Gotta have it.
yeah.
It's tough in these days, though. Believe it or not.
That was a nice addition,
Really this
right?
Yep.
You keep saying playing last night. I keep forgetting today's Saturday, man. I must have had a big week.
Yeah.
We're about to get on here game time now.
Yeah. Josiah.
The boys are having fun.
Having a blast. It's my son's favorite restaurant, man. He think he owns the place.
I love it.
That used to be a spot right there where the
I know, to sit in the chair. I remember. I love how he says sushi.
Yeah, so
My
he-
kids, they fake eat sushi. They talk about it, but
It's the best, man.
this is just one yours, right?
Huh?
The other one's not yours too, right?
No.
This is the one.
This is teammates.
Yeah.
What's up, bud?
Did you eat?
What you ate?
Yeah, you can get on there. He's back.
What you ate, man?
Tell everybody what you ate in America.
Josiah, what you ate?
I ate a California roll.
All right.
That's his favorite roll.
That's
He
it's
love
the
the
surreal because we use real crab
real
meat,
California.
named after Joey Accardi's fishing team.
Had to give my boy a hug there.
I did.
That was
Oh,
nice.
yes.
That was nice that Matt showed up like that.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
So, are we any more guests coming or no?
I don't think so. We were working on getting Zach Thomas to come, but he's tied up at a soccer tournament.
up at
That
a
would have been
soccer
nice to have them
tournament,
both here.
All right. So, you want to shut it down? Or you want to keep going around?
I think we can shut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Henry, you good?
Yeah, I'm actually hungry, and since we're here,
That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna eat.
I'm like, you already like, all
need to
right.
eat.
So we started this thing, and he's like, oh, you want some beer? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like starting to get a little tipsy, and I got to start going to the bathroom, and like we're starting to get hungry.
No,
so
I'm ready to eat and go to the
Florida
bathroom.
State's about to play, and I know we all want to watch some Seminole football.
Watch Seminole football. Sit back there and get me some.
Yep. So I'm just gonna
Just
say
a little recap, though.
recap. Go ahead.
Have a good story. Be honest.
That's it.
Put in the effort. You're only as strong as your systems.
Right.
That's what I heard today.
Yeah, consistency.
Right? The systems, they got to be strong.
A new friend in Henry.
No, and the Crockett Foundation doing big things. Every time
Yeah,
we
look
come
up
around,
the
Henry, we
Crockett
learn new
Foundation.
stuff.
Drop some social for me, Henry. What do you want people to do here?
Just search the Crockett Foundation. Go to crockettfoundation.org. We're doing a lot in the community, especially in the city of Pompano and Broward County areas. We're heavy into coding. We got some great partners in Broward College and Children's Service Council, United Way. I thank you for the support that it allows to do all these great things. We have an amazing board. Our kids are taking some great trips. Work with the Dolphins, taking the kids to the Dolphins Los Angeles Chargers game. So
You taking them to L.A.?
no, we play here. We ain't got that kind of money.
I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Describe the flex fund again.
Man, you know, we're growing. We got a
Yeah.
great staff. Our executive director, Eileen Lamarck, she's doing an amazing job along with our
Eileen,
staff.
let's give it up.
Yeah, Eileen.
Yep, Lamarck. She's doing a great job. And so we're excited about this year.
Nice.
We got some great programs at Pompano Middle, Margate, Plantation Middle, Bear Middle, and Crystal Lake Middle. So we're doing some great things. We're excited about this year.
You will have all the support in the world from Connected by Water whenever you want it. Just
All
make
right.
a phone call. You got it.
All right, thank you so
All
very
right,
much.
whatever service
Yep.
we can provide for you, you have it. Don't worry about that.
All right, man.
So I am going to say, oh, wait, drop some. We got the Eat, Drink, Be Local.
The Chef
Papa's
Shakedown.
Raw Bar, Chef Shakedown coming
Yes,
up
it's coming
Friday.
up Friday.
The 20th.
The first show, the 20th, at the Lighthouse Point
Right.
Yacht Club. Next year, we got to change up. This year's for Mission Fishing. Next year, we'll bring it back old school and
Yeah.
We'll change it up to the Crockett
Love to.
Foundation. I
There
like
we
that.
go. All right, it's official.
I like that.
2020.
And buy your sake dinner tickets. It's actually International Sake Day, October 1st, here at Papa's Raw Bar, and the entire world is International Sake Day. But we're having our first sake dinner. Tickets for all events everywhere are on sale on Eventbrite. Eat,
right.
drink, and be local everywhere you go.
Go Knowles.
Yeah,
Before we end this, we need some score predictions for tonight's game.
Oh, look at John
Little game
chiming
day.
in. See, listen, look, the frustrated
Never on
ESPN
the frame,
analyst.
though.
The frustrated ESPN analyst.
31-14.
31-14.
Wow.
Florida State over Virginia.
Are we at home? Are we in?
No, it's
Henry,
not.
are we
it's
home
not at
tonight?
home.
Is this in Virginia? Or is
We're in
it?
Virginia.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're picked
31-14.
31-14.
Hopefully we can switch things
I'm going to
up.
go a little bit tighter than that.
34-27.
I'm going to go. That's a pretty good one too.
Can I do it?
34-27. What's your prediction?
Sushi for life if you get it.
27-14.
What you said, 14. I like it.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go with. Let me see. I'm going to go 42, Florida State. Right. Right. And I'm going to go 33 on Virginia.
All right.
42, 33. I'm going to go with
We'll
one
see.
of those
Let's
odd
see.
college scores. And I just want to add one last thing. Like my buddy Mike G says, your ego is not your amigo. Right? Just do your best. Let God do the rest. And always remember to eat, drink, and be local. Connected
Yeah,
by
man.
Water is out of here.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you,
All right,
guys.
see you guys.
Thank you, Henry.
Time to eat.
Time to eat.
I'm gonna
Time to
do
eat.
the
Let's do it. John, let me know when we're done.